Hi Paul, Sydney, Larry, Tony, others at Innovar who might take a look at this. Rather than trying to write down the steps for migrating some source code from Synergy into RTC, I thought I'd just record this little demonstration here and actually walk through it. It might be easier than trying to show where, trying to describe verbally where all the buttons are and things we should press. So we'll start over here in Synergy. This is the new Java client, the developer client in Synergy. And what we're going to do is migrate this platform code here that's in a platform project. It's our 2.1 version. We're going to migrate that into Team Concert. I'm going to start by bringing up the properties on the project here and take a look at where my work area is. The work area is here in my directory on this PC in the training subfolder, because this is my training directory. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to synchronize the members here. I'm going to make sure that I don't have any work area conflicts, that all these files that are in this project are actually out here in the work area. So this takes just a minute to run. This is basically a sync operation. With 6.2 we return no conflicts. So now we know that we have a copy of the source code out here on the file system of my local machine from Synergy. What I'm going to do next is switch over here to Team Concert, or actually to Eclipse. And since that was some Java code, I'm going to go into to the Java perspective within Eclipse. And at this point, I'm really just dealing with Eclipse. I'm not dealing with Team Concert at all. And what we'll do is we'll do File, New, and we'll create a new, in this case, a Java project. If you have C or C++ projects, you would use basically the same set of operations, but you'd use a different set of a different project type, so that you know how to so that it knows how to build and stuff. So again, this is going to be Java, but the overall steps should be the same. We're going to call this platform. And so at this point we can just call the name platform. I'm going to click next. And actually I'm going to go back, because what I didn't want to do is use the default location. What I instead want to do is I want to browse to the location here on my machine where I have that Synergy work area for that project. So that should be out here in my under my documents. There should be a Synergy folder, and then within the Synergy folder there ought to be a work area for training and platform. And so what we'll do within platform, we don't want to open up the project. We want to open up the root directory. That's going to be the root directory of this project as we put it into Eclipse. So I'm going to click next. It's going to go off and take a look at what's out there, and then based on that, I'm just going to click finish here. I don't want to add any other source. I don't want to link in any other source. I really just want to get this as a project in Eclipse, so it shows up over here in Eclipse like I'd expect it to. Now, a little red X appears because Eclipse didn't know how to build this. I haven't really set up anything for the build, and that's okay. So now we have platform. We know from Synergy that this is our 2.1 release of the platform code. So now I'm going to change perspectives in Eclipse and go over to the work items perspective. I'm going to go into source control, and I'm going to create a new stream. And I'm going to call this stream platform. I'm going to give it the name, or the release number 2.1, and then I'm going to give it, this will be our development stream. This is where we do development from. So I'm also going to call it development. And this is just a descriptive name. You can name things however you want, whatever makes sense in your environment. Now I'm going to add a new component. We'll call the component platform. Same name as the stream. Now, in your case, I think you have the gens stream, and then within that you have a number of different components like GNT and GCS and things like that. So what we're going to do is, so you would just add those other components here as you go along. And in this case, we don't need to set up any flow targets right now. We will, if we were to set up a subsequent release that might flow from this 2.1 release, that say we were to set up a 2.2 release or a 3.0 release, we might add those as flow targets that flow from this release. So notice that this says that this is to add. That's because we don't have that component yet. It's going to be created when I save this stream. So I'm saving the platform stream and the platform component, and now over here in this navigation bar in my team, on the Team Artifacts tab in my navigation bar, we can see that I have my platform 2.1 stream for development, and it has one component in it called platform. So what I've done here is I've created a stream within Team Concert and a component that are going to contain the code that I'm going to migrate in from Eclipse. At this point, I'm going to switch back to the Java perspective. I'm going to come over here to my platform. I'm going to right mouse on the platform project in Eclipse. I go down to the Team menu item, and I'm going to go to Share Project. When I click on Share Project, I have a couple of different repository types I can choose. Because I have the Synergy plugins for Eclipse installed also, Synergy shows up. What we're going to choose though is Jazz source control. If you recall, Team Concert is built on Jazz, so the source control, the version management stuff is really a native component of Jazz, even though the way it's exposed to you, the end user, is through the Team Concert application. So we'll pick Jazz source control. We will now pick a component that we need to work with. I haven't created a repository workspace, and if you recall, a repository workspace is where we would go, where it's on the server, but it's the server logical copy of what we have in the sandbox out on our hard drive on our local machine. So I'm going to call this this new repository workspace, I'm going to call that platform as well, and I'm going to give it my name or my user ID here because this is going to be a repository workspace. Well, actually, we'll make this for our my CLM demo user. So now that I have that created, what I'm going to want to do is share with a component from an existing stream. So I click that radio button to share from a component from an existing stream. I'm going to go down here to the platform stream, going to open the platform component, or select the platform component. We have some exclude patterns here that I'm not going to worry about too much. If you find you do this and there are things like class files or other build things that are in here that are being brought into Team Concert that you don't want brought into Team Concert, things that are out there in that directory, then you can update some of these ignore patterns, and those will be skipped when they're loaded into Team Concert. I click Finish, and it's actually going to go off and now take a look at everything that's in that project and go through the process of adding that to source control. It's adding it in my initial work area server workspace that I have. So now what we can see here is that I have some outgoing changes here. And this is my initial migration. This is all the stuff for platform that I've brought in. So in order to make this available to other developers, I'm going to deliver this. This is a change set here, and I'm going to, I'm actually going to deliver. Oops, that was the wrong button. I clicked accept, and that brought in some changes to the ant project that I was working with yesterday. So I'm going to deliver my outgoing, all my outgoing change sets. In this case, I just have one. Even though it's going to look at 4 different repository workspaces, I can scroll through this list here and see which workspaces actually have outgoing changes by the little black arrow being filled in. So notice here, none of these arrows are filled in. If I scroll this up, though, in my workspace, Platform CLM Demo, I got a black arrow because that tells me I have a change here that needs to be delivered. If I really just want to focus in on this one and not deliver all, in case I have multiple changes in multiple workspaces, I can just choose to deliver the changes for this one, for the platform. So the deliver was pretty quick. As you saw there, we created, it copied that information, delivered it, basically checked it in over on the server. Now we can tell that this is loaded because of this filled in little blue rectangle here. Ones like down here, Brick EMU and Sunseeker, those are not loaded because they're actually at this point there's no code in those. But you can tell whether something's been loaded into a particular work area, a particular workspace or not by whether or not that blue rectangle shape is filled in. So now with that, this code is actually now committed to the server, and if I go back over here on the server side of things, I can see that that this platform for CLM Demo is loaded. This workspace is loaded. So since I don't want to do any work here in this project in Team Concert, because this is pointing over to my old Synergy work area, I'm now going to delete this particular project just out of Eclipse. So I'm not going to delete the project contents on disk. I'm just going to take it out of the Eclipse workspace. So now you see if I come back over here, my platform stream CLM demo, my platform workspace does not have the platform code loaded. I'm going to load that. I want to say load the root folders of the components as projects. So it's going to load these as Eclipse projects, but it's going to load the root file as an Eclipse project. So doing this is going to make this show up again over in my Java perspective within Eclipse. So this was a lot like a sync operation in Synergy. The load operation in RTC is analogous to the sync operation in Synergy. And so if I go back over here now to my Java perspective, I see that my platform is out here. And if I go take a look at the properties of platform, and my machine's kind of busy here with all this, but I can now see that this is in my workspace, not the old Synergy work area. So we've taken this code out of a Synergy work area, we've loaded it into Eclipse, we've used Eclipse as an intermediate step to load it into the RTC server. I then went in and broke that connection between the Synergy work area and the RTC server, and now I've recreated this information, this data, back out here in my workspace for RTC down here on my disk at this location. So if I wanted to start development now, I have this code on my machine, and I can now go in here, say into one of these source directories, and open up a source file here within Eclipse and begin my development work. So it opens up animation.java. It's opening this from the workspace on the local machine. If I make changes to this, those are going to show up down here in my pending changes as being a changed file. Let's do that here real quickly. We'll put in just a comment, a new comment to force a change. Okay, so by doing that now, I've made a change. When I save this file, what we now see down here in my pending changes for RTC is that I have an unresolved change for this particular file, and so when I'm done here with this, I have a couple of options. I can just deliver these changes. I can do a check-in and deliver. I can compare with a predecessor or another stream to see what somebody else is doing. So I have a couple of options there of things that I can do to actually now commit my work into the server if I was ready to do so. So in this particular case, I'm going to do, I'll start by doing a check-in. That's going to actually create a new change set. So by doing the check-in, I've moved the work now that was just on my, just in my local workspace on my computer. I've moved that into the onto the server, but I still haven't done a check-in. I have a change set here where I can now enter a comment. And so we'll edit the comment, simple change to show how to deliver change and check in and deliver code in RTC. Okay. Likewise, I could associate this change set with a work item if I needed to. By using this related artifacts, I could associate this with a task or a defect, some other kind of a change request if I wanted to. In the interest of this short demo, I'm actually not going to do that. What I'm going to do now is just deliver this change set, and this is going to make it available. I'm just going to deliver this one. This is going to move it into the stream. It's going to make it the latest in the stream, and it's going to make it available to all the other developers to do their work, to use my latest changes as the basis for their work. So hopefully this will be helpful to you, everyone. It was I know this is short, and I apologize. I hope everybody has a great holiday week next week, and we'll hook up after the holidays again and revisit this and see how you're doing. So in the meantime, have a happy holiday, and we'll talk next week.